He was actually we were in the same coming out of the same store, and he had a lot of stuff. And the guy that I was with knew him, or I should say, knew of him. And so when he dropped something, and I simply went over and picked it up and handed it to him, put it on the truck. And the guy I was with said, "You know he's racist." I said, "I don't care."
Okay.
He said he don't like black people. I looked at him and said, "Heck, there's a lot of black people I don't like either." But
Facts.
what does that have to do
Exactly.
with
Facts.
anything? I said, my thing is,
Exactly.
and I could care less if my family knows my stance. Like me or dislike me, I don't care. That's your choice. Respect me, you have no option. As long as you don't disrespect me, I don't give two thoughts how you feel about me.
None.
Because
Period.
That's where the emotion control come into play.
because Coach Bryant, seriously, if you knew all the people who smile in your face and talk about you behind your back, if you spent your days thinking about it, it would drive you absolutely crazy.
Absolutely crazy. Worrying about what people think. And I always say that until your opinion starts paying my bills, I could care less
Ah,
about what
ah.
the hell you think.
You said the magic.
Imagination.
That's the magic formula. When you meet me here around the 28th or the 29th of the month to take care of next month, then you have a say. Until then,
Mhm.
step off.
Also, on top, adding to that, if you're not coming to me with anything about whatever it is that you're saying about me, I most definitely really don't care about it.
True.
Like again, why should I take time? Like I'm gonna literally pause what's going on in my life. Whether I could be chilling, I'm gonna pause chilling to get mad about some BS that somebody didn't even come to me about. It's like that's a
Hey,
waste of
not
waste of life right there.
To me, when I find out that people have a problem, and I get along with everybody, and matter of fact,
so you
I
think.
was just
So you
I
think.
just got I get along with everybody. They don't get along with me,
Okay. Tomato, tomato.
but I can get along with anybody, right? So most of the time, if people have a problem with me, because they got a problem, it's not because I got a problem with them.
This is true.
You see what I'm saying?
I can see what I see what you're saying because like the whole racist thing, like that's that I want to talk to. I ain't gonna have no personal or no hate anger towards this racist who decided to come talk to me this time. Again, I don't know this cat for one, so why would I get mad? Two, it's a conversation. We just here to talk. We're here to
But
express.
I respect a person that tells me that they're racist. It's kind of like what BG just said. I prefer the blatant racist that I
Yes.
know is racist than the person that
Hmm.
claims they not racist and you racist and calling me a nigga behind my back.
That's what I'm saying.
And
Exactly.
you can't freaking stand me.
I'm from Southeast Georgia. So
You know
yeah.
what's racist to me?
Dude,
You know
I'm
what's
from
racist to
Mobile,
me?
Alabama.
The N-word. The N-word is way more racist than actually saying nigger to me. Or because you already assume that I'm retarded anyway. So you assume that I don't know what the N means, but here you
No,
are not racist though. But you say I'm just gonna say the
but
N word.
Donnie, the N
Like,
that's
come
it.
on.
When people say that to me, the N word, I go, you mean never? I'm playing. I'm gonna play along. I'm as dumb as they think I am.
But we're just gonna get out of here. But I want to talk about something else that's way off topic because again, I like thinking about stuff.
I like the way you think.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. A lot of people, like I just me and Coach Terry just did Tennis Our Beliefs a couple weeks ago, and I realized, or I didn't realize, but I guess I thought about it is I force people to think, not intentionally, but I force them to think just because you're here and now I mentioned it.
Because sometimes there's topics that come up and you're like, I ain't never even thought about it like that. And it does, and it makes you think.
and people don't like to talk about their thoughts because, again, for some reason, people are afraid of their thoughts, which is ludicrous to me because
It's part of you.
you're insinuating that you're afraid of yourself to me
Exactly.
when you
You
say
know, my
that.
sister,
But
my
sometimes you are
elder.
afraid of yourself because
You
you're
know
like,
who
I
you are.
don't think like everybody else think.
But see, that's it. My elder sister, she stayed with me in my house for a while. And she, one day she comes to me, she goes, I don't like talking to you. I'm like, what? I don't like talking to you. It makes me think too much. I'm like, oh,
Oh,
as opposed to not thinking.
not thinking
That's a miserable
as
person to
opposed to
me.
I'm
not
like,
thinking.
okay.
Exactly. As opposed to not thinking, you miserable
Hey,
person.
Donnie, I told her, I'm like, there are a couple of doctors that I can turn you on to. They have couches in their office.
Man.
I put three of his kids through college and bought his wife a nice diamond ring. But I can give you I can put you in touch with him. It's like you were saying, people are so afraid of, you know what? It's like death. They're afraid of the things that they don't know. They don't know them. They don't fully know who they are, and they're afraid to quote unquote let that tiger out.
I think again, I think people know. I think we know who we are. We just deflect from that for whatever reason that we choose to deflect from it. I have so many people say, I don't want to relive it. I don't want to relive that. But I'm like, you relive it every single time. You try not to relive it.
Every
Like
time you say you don't want to relive it,
exactly. So every time you think about it being miserable because something triggered this, then
that's why you're
you're
miserable.
reliving it. So I'm
You're
like, how about
reliving it.
you? Nobody never does the different.
See, I
People, you
have the
don't do the
blessing.
different.
I have the blessing of having lost my memories.
And it probably was a blessing
So I have a
because then
distinct
you just had to
advantage.
because then you're able to relearn. My biggest thing right now is there is so many people that need to unlearn
Oh yes.
what they've been
Mhm.
taught
Oh yes.
and relearn
Unlearn
to
and
I think
reprogram their
relearn.
brain.
I think I told you this before, Donnie, when we spoke previously. It's like when you walk out the house in the morning, you walk out your house and you look up and you see, this is a beautiful blue sky and my grass is growing nice and pretty and green because I just fertilized it. My thought process goes, is the sky blue and the grass green? Maybe
But
the sky is
you
green and the grass is blue, but we just accept that because they told us it our lives. That's the way I honestly think.
you have to binge whatever talk. Like just just binge it from episode 100 on up. Just binge it, like, or the whole thing. But yeah, you talk about those things. I bring those things up, like just
I know. I
because
watched several of
I
your
know.
episodes.
Oh, awesome. Thank you. I appreciate that because again, like I force people to think, not intentionally, but I'm assuming since you coming on whatever talk, be prepared to think.
Be
Because
prepared
Okay.
to think
everybody who
about things. Yeah.
exactly. I send anybody who confirmed that they come on the show, I send them an episode where the a random episode and like here's something to listen to so you can get a feel of
Right.
the show. You can get a sense of what we're gonna be talking about. Don't be afraid to think. Yes, there is a such thing as stupid questions, but ask them. We make fun of everything on this show. It's all
You told me
good.
that. You told me that.
It's
And
all good.
honestly, when I watched the past episodes, I'm like, you know what? He ain't wrapped too tight. That's a good thing. But that's a good
That's
thing.
what I like thinking. Like I just told my nephew again yesterday. This ain't what I wanted to talk about, by the way. But I told my nephew,
Hey,
I
we
told
talk
my
about
nephew
whatever.
that exactly, and that's what I love about natural conversation. Because Piggy, we can bounce off things, and if you're good enough, you can be able to bring it back to what we initially started with.
There you go.
But talking to my nephew, and I think I told a few other people this too. Um, I created whatever talk to because I was tired of being entertained by the same exact thing that we're entertained by on TV, radio, all that. Like I wanted to create what I wanted to be entertained by with. And in the midst of all that, I also listen to my shows on an
Hmm.
often basis. what I've come to realize from the shows is that in my early one, my number one on to like I don't know when, but it kind of shifted a little bit from me wanting to talk about a whole bunch of crazy stuff because it's a whole bunch of crazy stuff in the world,
True.
and not a lot of people like to talk about their perspective on the matter. They like to talk a bunch of stuff about whatever their perspective is, what they think their perspective is, but they don't like to talk about the things that they're talking about.
They regurgitate what they've heard.
Exactly that. So in the process of that too, by me listening to my shows on an often basis over and over, and again, I am being entertained by this stuff. Like I'm laughing at what my man said. I'm laughing at the things that I said, and I'm also learning a crap ton about myself. Like listening to me helps me learn me or helped me learn me.
I've got a question. Is that a
Mhm.
technical term? Crap ton?
What?
Crap ton?
Um, I don't know if it's a technical term, but it is a program thing to say because it's a terminology. It's a
That's
terminology. But
that's just a part
but
of you coming out.
yeah, yeah. And oh, I like to say a whole bunch of old school terms. Like I like jive. The word jive sounds funny to me. And I I keep that alive. I keep jive alive. But
Because you don't hear nobody saying jive turkey no more.
and that too. Jab turkey is a funny saying to me. It sounds
I think
funny
it's
to me.
funny
So that's
too.
why I like making people laugh like all the time. And jive turkey sounds funny used properly.
I've never heard that one. I've never heard
You
that
never
one.
heard jive turkey?
No, I mean,
See, you gotta look.
the way I got educated on much of the past, as far as like fashion and the culture. When I did watch television, there was a station. They called it the Throwback Channel. Um, I think it
Throwback.
was
It's different from different from
Oh,
different
I
areas. It
think it was
might be
called
UPN
the
throwback
UPN,
or
UPN. That was it.
bounce. Bounce. Oh, UPN,
UPN.
UPN.
And
Okay.
I used to watch shows like Sanford and Son, The Waltons, and things I can't even remember.
You heard jive then. Ethel was
And Sanford and Son, because Rollo always said jive turkey, and I like the two
hmm
cops. The cops he would always translate to the white cop
Oh yeah, the black cop and the Caucasian cop.
what they were saying. He would translate the ebonics.
uh
The other thing which I have a problem is, my memory is not so good. So like I was telling you before, Donnie, I write everything down. So like the past couple hours that we've been on this Zoom session, I'll go back before I go to bed and I'll write everything down, and so I'll know who I already know who Donnie is, but I'll know who Coach Bryant is.
I do the same thing, man. I do the same as that thing. I don't write it down though, because I don't have a pen on me all the time, but I always text or email myself
Yeah,
about something or like a skit or I do poetry. I call it a strategically structured constellation of words that rhyme. I know.
I like that. I like that. Can I borrow that, or is it copyrighted?
It ain't copywritten yet, but I guess you could say it's poor man copywritten because
Okay.
according to Michigan, if you put
I
out a
heard it
YouTube
somewhere,
video, it's it's copywritten
but
because
no,
it's
I
somebody
wouldn't.
saying it. But anywho, I do
Okay.
the same thing. Yeah, I do the same thing, man. I email myself all the time, and
Well, I keep.
but before
I
we get out of here, I want to mention something somebody has said to me about time. And this person has says, I forget what I mentioned about time, but then this person said one of the most common thing about time, which is it ain't real. Time is not real. It's time is an illusion and all this and that. And I'm like, okay, I like to use other people's words against them when they come to this because I agree with them. I say, okay, cool, let's go with that. And I said, like, okay, time isn't real, but